Welcome back to the GloryHunter. Welcome back to the trophy room. We, of course, over the last couple of days, sealed the Euros with England. So we've now won both of the international tournaments we're looking to win. So England is done. Germany is done. International tournaments are done. And European competition is ticked off as well. We've got one of the Italian trophies done, so we do need to go back to Italy at some point. But we're in the transfer window now, as we're at Malaga, of course. After staving off relegation last year, we really want to kick on this season, and there is a great opportunity to do so with a bit of free agent madness that might be about to unfold for you. I'm going to need your feedback in a number of areas as well, so we shall jump straight into it in a moment, and you guys can let me know what you think. As always, please do drop the video a like. I'd very much appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then please do so. Of course, come and join me on stream and you can have a live input on what happens in this series and the My Player series and everything I record, basically. Link in the description to Twitch as well. And let me say thank you to Jackson as well for joining the Patreon. Thank you very much indeed, my friend. Very much appreciated. Welcome to the gang. Your name has been added to the end slate of actually yesterday's video as well as today's and a couple of the My Players too. Right. Let's head back to Malaga from the international camp with England, where I need to now resign, and see what we're doing transfer-wise. So first things first, let's resign from England. We don't need to be manager of the national side anymore. We've done it all. Thank you very much. So, the situation is, financially, we're not very well off. £29 million in the budget as it stands. However, we are, of course, looking to sell Shola Shoretire because he's not good enough, quite frankly, and we can get much more use out of the 40 to 50 plus maybe million we can get for him. So I've a number of players that we're going to look to loan out, a couple of which are currently being negotiated, and also a hell of a number of players on my shortlist as well. With regards to what the board want from us this season, quickly, so we know what our objectives are. Youth development wise, that will come with time. Brand exposure, streak of 5 games without defeat. Now that can span across all competitions, but of course as we're not involved in any European competition, it's unlikely that will be anything other than the league. One crucial first team player assigned to a forward position. We're absolutely looking to do that in this save, so that's fine. Or do that in this season. We weren't able to do the top one of the short term. It's not refreshed this year. Long-term one we'll do in due course as well. Now, they only want a mid-table finish in La Liga this year, but with the caliber of player we're going to look to bring in, we're aiming higher than just mid-table. I want European football of any kind. I'd take Conference League for next year if we can get it. They want around a 16 in the Copa del Rey, which is absolutely achievable. So the squad looks like this as we stand, with Gomez up top, but we're looking for a new striker. Or we're looking to move Roberto back to striker and looking for a first team cam instead. Not decided which way around to do that yet. I am going to look for a new centre mid, although Chavez does have the showing great potential tag. So I expect him to grow this season, regardless of whether he's in the first team or not. Kevin on the left-hand side is obviously going to be replaced. Shoretire was the player that was there. He's going to get sold. Pantea is going to move from left back to right back, as we have a left back that I'm going to sign as a free agent right here, right now, today. We also have some other players we might be signing right here, right now, today as well, including a goalkeeper. So keep your eyes peeled for that in just a moment's time. Willems is going to leave us. Baran is going to be our backup goalkeeper, and I might well look to sell Nick Pope and have Baran as the backup. We've got a lot of youth players that are going to get loaned out, one of which, actually, as you guys quite rightly pointed out at the moment in the last comment section of the last episode of Malaga, we can change Navas's development plan from a centre-back to a CDM. He doesn't actually change overall with that, but now we can concentrate on his deep line playmaker capabilities. We'll improve his stand tackle. I might try and improve his overall defending as well. It's probably going to make him grow a little bit quicker. Maybe Anchorman. Get his passing and his tackling up. Wait and see how that develops. But, so, all you guys want to know about his transfers. So let's dive straight into those, shall we? Free agent central here, one of which might be Edouard Mendy. Now, at first glance, you think 86 rated, it's a bit high, isn't it? But if you actually look at his stats, only reflex is any higher than 85. And then his diving is 84, his handling's only 82, and his kicking isn't even in the 80s. Plus he's 36, so he's only going to decline from where he is now. So I'm going to use my managerial pull as Ted Lasso, as champion of England, champion of Germany, champion of Italy, World Cup winner, European Championships winner. We're going to use that draw to sign Edouard Mendy now. And look at the wages it's recommending. 19 to 30,000 pounds only for a player of his caliber is remarkable. A 2-year deal is fine. A release clause I'd rather not have. We'll decide on that at a later date. And he's asking for 11 grand. I mean, come on. Because he's not actually asking for that much at all, I fully expect Edouard Mendy to drop by 2, maybe even 3 ratings this season. So I do think he may well be 83 by the end of the year, meaning he's going to become less and less usable as time goes on. But I think it's the right decision to bring him in. Now, I mentioned I was looking for fullbacks. Now, what I'm also looking at is left backs first. Now, João Cancelo is not a player I'm going to sign. As you have a go at me for signing Mendy at 86, I'm not going to sign Cancelo at 86 as well. Yes, he's a former player, but as an outfield man, I think he's probably going to have more of an impact than Mendy will in goal. You know how average goalkeepers are, regardless of what their rating is, unless they're in the 90s. So if Cancelo is unsigned by January, then I might well look to bring João Cancelo in. But for the time being, I'm going to say no to him, because I am going to say yes to an 83 rated Sergio Reguilon, who is much faster than João Cancelo, and actually is better in the tackle as well. 84 stand tackle to Cancelo's 83. Obviously, ball control, dribbling and passing for Cancelo is obviously exceptional. Reguilon is better than what we've got, but not sensational. So Reguilon coming in as well. 83 rated, Spanish left back. It's an obvious signing to make to strengthen the team with the ambition we have. We're going to look to make some really tasty signings this season. This is probably as high as we'll get for outfield players. He wants a crucial. We're more than willing to give him that. Contract length-wise, it doesn't really matter that much because we're probably not going to be here at Malaga long enough now for him to run out of contract or anything of that sort by the time we get to our 3rd season at the club. I'll offer him 28. He'll accept 28. That is another first team player of quality in to the starting lineup. I'm very happy with Pantea at right back. We're going to move him from left back to right back. And Joe Mendes, who has been improving as a right back, to be fair to him, is going to drop to the bench for Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo will... Not Dani Olmo, it's different Olmo, isn't it? Dani Olmo is the cam. So Reguilon's going to go into the starting lineup, rather understandably, as is Edouard Mendy. Now, I'm also looking for a centre mid and a cam, or a striker and a winger. Now, there are plenty of names still on the shortlist, so let me show you what my other options are. I'm not going to act on anything else today, unless something becomes painfully obvious that we should do. So, Leon Bailey, we discovered Bournemouth aren't willing to sell him anyway, so that's a no. I'm open to centre-back. I'd absolutely be happy enough to loan in Chalobah. Muhaid, they're not willing to sell at all, so I'd have to pay his release clause, and I don't quite think I'm willing to do that at this stage. With regards to winger, though, we are looking to improve on Kevin, and Shola Shoretire at 82 rated actually didn't play like an 82 rated player. So we're waiting to see what Crescencio Somerville looks like. Yan Couto is available on a free. Now, I think as a backup winger, he's going to be better than Kevin. So I may well jump on Yan Couto as well, but I'll wait for your feedback on that front. Now, with regards to central midfield, I don't think I can buy anyone of Elliot Anderson or Fernandez's quality, but I might look to loan Antonio Blanco. He could be pretty good in that centre mid spot. Physically not amazing, but technically great in the tackle, great in the pass. Seems absolutely doable. Are they willing to loan him to me? They're not. Okay, he's available to buy for about valuation though, so maybe we look to buy him. Elliot Anderson might be available for less than valuation, but perhaps at 84 rated, we're pushing it a bit much with an outfield player of his quality. Maybe not. You might think Elliot Anderson is absolutely doable. Fernandez is up to 50 million. Makengo could be brought in as a free agent. High work rates. Waiting to see what he looks like technically. Not sure yet. Pepelu, another player we could potentially buy. He's decent for Espanyol, but again, waiting to see what he looks like technically before deciding. Now, Nanasi is a player that I could probably use at cam, but I'd be more inclined to use out wide because I have other potentials at cam, and he's got the pace to have the impact out wide, whereas others might not necessarily. Nanasi, £20 million, did impress when we played against Sweden with England in Euro 2028. Now, at cam, Mario Pasalic, whilst he's 33, technically looks like he's still going to be very good. Look at that ball control. Look at the finishing. Look at the short passing. Shot power is going to be relatively high as well. Dribbling's going to be decent too. Mario Pasalic on a free might be a bit of a no-brainer at 6'2" as well. We'll wait and see how good he looks. Elias Chair, I don't think technically he's going to be good enough, but he's on the list. Now, Yulan Yon intrigues me. Physically, big thumbs up. Great pace, great agility, and his balance isn't great, but agility is good enough. Technically, he's an improving player and will continue to get better should we sign him. And he looks better than what we've got currently. So certainly would be an asset to the squad should you think that maybe Yulan Yon is the player we bring in instead. Ball control is good. Long shots are good. Finishing's not bad, to be fair, for a cam. And passing is really pretty decent as well. 3-star weak foot, left-footed, 6'1". So whilst his strength isn't high, his physicality, his height, should work in his favour. Hannes Wolf, I'm waiting to see, but I don't think technically he's going to be good enough. Omura's a weird one. Physically, great. Would probably be very good out wide. Technically, I don't know yet. So again, waiting for a scout report. Kameri, I don't know anything about him. De La Fey will be a backup if everyone else gets gone. At 34, he's probably only going to decline, but his pace is still really high. And technically, I don't think he'll decline too much. Anderson Talisca has declined physically. His acceleration and sprint speed have come down a bit, but they've never been his standout stats, have they? His standout stats have always been his technicals, Anderson Talisca. So maybe he's still an option at 34 years of age. Young Woo Young, I want to see what he's like because he's cheap and looks like he could be a grower. Although he is 28, but he might be able to make an impact actually. David Brooks would be probably repositioned from a wide man to a cam because he doesn't have any pace, but at cam might be pretty handy. Cole Palmer, I'll try and loan. They won't let me, so I'm probably not going to be able to afford Cole Palmer. I might be able to, though, at 32 million. We shall wait and see. A former player of mine as well, of course. Yusuf Demir, Galatasaray aren't willing to sell, and I'm not really willing to part with the £41.5 million release clause at this stage. Now, at striker, Iker Bravo, I'd love to loan. He'd make a massive impact. I could even buy him for 20 million. But I'd probably loan him first because I wouldn't want to massively commit, just in case he's not that good. We don't want to get burnt again like we did with Shola Shoretire. For free, though, Ricky J. Jones, physically exceptional, technically might be good enough. Adam Armstrong is available for free, physically very good, and technically might not quite have it, but maybe as a backup. And then Jordan Larson, Swede, physically decent, and technically looks like he's going to be pretty decent too, and also really not that expensive. Onyekuro's great physically, but technically I don't think it's going to be good enough. Jakob Brun Larsen could be a good cam. Good passing, good dribbling. Physically looks decent. And then Garnacho might be a loan signing, but I'd probably lean away from Garnacho because of the amount of Manchester United youngsters we've already signed. So as the season draws on, we're not going to go too far in the calendar. Probably no further, certainly no further than the end of the month. Perhaps even not quite that far. Waiting for those scout reports to come back so we know definitively whether some of them are an option or not. And I might pull the trigger with one or maybe two more free agents before the end of the episode, but I don't want to commit to anything just yet. But 2 are done, very good as well, and more hopefully to come. Spiel over. let's see what we can do in the transfer window. Kevin, I'm not selling. He's going to be really good as a backup. Shoretire, I do want to sell, but that was the bid I turned down off camera. 20 million plus an 80 rated cam wasn't what I was interested in, and I don't think FC Köln can afford the sort of fee that I would like. So, now we'll push forward, try and get some money for Shoretire, and see what else we can do in the transfer window. I've got scouts out looking at a number of players as well that aren't on my shortlist, so we'll wait and see on that front too. There might be someone we haven't yet added to the shortlist that could be an absolute banger. So we'll wait and see what happens. Right, shut up, Ches. Go and play some FIFA. Arsenal have bid for Shola Shoretire, 39.5. My executive reckons I could get up to nearly 50. That's Pamos for taking the Ep1 loan, as we will now try and negotiate this. Now, I am intrigued to see who else is in their squad. Is there perhaps someone that we could have coming the other way? Paulinho or Dwight McNeil, perhaps? I don't think so. I will almost certainly, with the amount of improvements we need to make to the starting lineup, would probably be better off just trying to get the money. So I'll ask for 50. And we'll see if they'll negotiate and come up. They might just say yes to 50. 44.7. That's a significant increase. So they might just pay 48.5 and say yes, deal done. Big fee. Big fee. Shoretire will be leaving us for a sizable chunk of change, which we can reinvest, hopefully, very well indeed. Sold for £7.5 million. Antoine Bernede is out. Now, that will be a position we will need to improve in the squad, but we now have the money to do so because Shola Shoretire is leaving. So I am looking for a CDM at the minute as well. Pepelu has had a scout report come back, and he actually looks pretty decent. Now, at cam, Brun Larsen might be not bad as well. Even as a winger, he might be decent, but I think he might be better centrally. I'll leave him on the shortlist for now. It looks like he might be half decent. I won't go and have a look at those scout reports yet. I just want to show you whilst you're in the midst of a highlight. Let me go and show you Pepelu now. So I've got this young man. I say young man, he's 27. Singaras on my shortlist. Currently very good in the tackle, but technically elsewhere not so good. Now Pepelu is physically not so good, but technically he's solid. Stand tackle isn't great, but we're not looking for an out-and-out CDM, just someone that can throw their weight around a little bit. And with 76 strength and good stamina, he's going to be able to outmuscle a number of players at 6'1", and he's not going to be that expensive. I can get him for probably less than even the 21.2 that my executive reckons I could pay. So Pepelu is on the list, and he's an option at the moment. Okay, now Ormur intrigues me. 5'6", as a backup winger. I'm probably not going to get much better, am I? Agility, balance, both 92. Acceleration, 85. Sprint speed, 88. Technically, his ball control's good. His dribbling's good. His short passing's at 80 as well. I think that might be a really, really good, cheap backup winger to bring in. Abdullah Amour, I am probably going to look to now go and sign and bring in now. Weirdly, he wants quite a bit wage-wise, which is intriguing, but bulking out the squad is also going to be important too. He might want an important squad role, and indeed he does. He's probably not going to start for me at cam, but I'll try and get a 3-year deal out of him just to keep his valuation up, and they're happy with that. We'll disregard the release clause. He wants a release clause. Well, if someone pays £37.8 million for him, then I'm absolutely thrilled. And yes, recommended wage 30 grand, but actually he'll sign at 15.5. So I think that's a good deal for us. Only initially as a squad player, but he can make a difference off the bench, can't he, with that pace and agility. And he's decent enough in the past that he's absolutely going to be worthwhile. So I think that's a good move for us. I'm happy enough with that. Throw him straight on the bench, I think. Shoretire to Arsenal is a done deal. £48.5 million. He's gone. Now that is going to significantly improve our financial situation. Our budget is now 73 million. So I can afford to sign 2 standout players probably for that sort of fee. Now, what position we sign those standout players in remains to be seen. Let's have a look at our emails. I've still got a number of scout reports to have a look through. So, Jesus Christ. Yeah, quite a few. So, if you'll allow me the luxury of having a look through that, we should have a much clearer picture after this. We have ourselves a bit of a tough situation where we're not really sure what to do. We've almost got too many options for our own good. Still waiting on a scout report on Trevor Chalobah. I don't know if he's actually going to be good enough, but as a lone centre-back might be worthwhile. If Southampton would loan him to me, I don't know. Lianco as a free agent centre-back might be decent, just to fill a gap in the squad. Vitic to buy, though, might be good at centre-back, although I'm not prioritising that position yet. But De Bast at centre-back, I might be able to loan. It says they won't sell him directly, but I could play £21.8 million for him. I'd be reluctant to do that, but if they'll loan him, which they won't, so maybe that rules De Bast out at this stage. Joao Cancelo was signed for Celta Vigo, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. Couto, we're still waiting on the scout report for. He'd be a good. I still think he'd be a pretty decent free signing. So the issue I have at the minute, I would absolutely snap up Sidney Raybigger in the blink of an eye. Centre mid and Cam physically doesn't look great, but technically, for an 80 rated player, ball control, dribbling, 90 finishing, 83 tackle, 86 pass. How was he only 80 rated? Of course, they're not willing to sell him because he's too important to the club. If Greuterfurt come in for any of my players, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going for a player swap. Now, in that centre mid spot, we could still maybe loan Blanco if Real Madrid would be willing to loan him to us and if he'd be willing to come. Pepelu could be a purchase still, as could Raskin. Now, Raskin's at Monza, and he'd be basically on valuation. Physically, he's an all-rounder. Technically, he's a bit of an all-rounder, but his passing and his ball control and dribbling stand out a bit. And at 27, absolutely do a job. Absolutely do a job. So I'm not sure what to do in centre mid. When it comes to out wide, Yusuf Demir is a player I would love to buy. But it would be a large part of my budget. But I am sorely tempted to actually part with the £41.5 million for Yusuf Demir and make him my marquee signing out wide. Ball control and dribbling are great. Finishing is also very good. Pace and agility superb. Left-footed, 4-star skills, 3-star weak foot. Passing at 80 is good. Long shots are good. And he's only 25. I am this close to trying to buy Yusuf Demir. However, I could probably get Cole Palmer for less. So, do I go Cole Palmer instead? As a former Manchester City player under me, maybe. At Cam, still waiting on a scout report on Kamari. Nana C looks like a bit of a no-brainer really at Cam. That would push them Roberto to striker, meaning I wouldn't loan Bravo. But loaning Bravo is something I might like to do. So I'm torn at the minute between trying to buy Nana C for £16 million. Surely it's a no-brainer with the quality of him. And I could maybe play Nana C out wide, meaning that then I could loan Iker Bravo. But if I play Nana C out wide, it means that I wouldn't need Demir. And I quite like Demir. So it's the Cam winger striker situation that has me in a bit of a conundrum right now. And then centrally, I'm also at a bit of a loss. Who do I sign? Pepelu, Blanco, or Raskin? I think Qual is probably just going to come off the list now. And at centre-back, do I do something there as well to bulk out the numbers? A sign Vitic for 25-ish to 30? Or just go cheap and get Lianco on a free agent? Or loan Chalobah? I really, really don't know what to do. So please, in the comment section, tell me what to do. I have a decent amount of money left in the budget. upwards of £70 million. I think we might have boosted that even further since I last saw you because of the finishing of the transfer window. £77 million now is my current budget. And the league season starts in a few weeks' time. We're just about to start or just have started August. We've got Granada, then the next games aren't until the end of the month. So, I don't know what to do. So you guys are going to have to tell me what to do, I think. But for now, that's all for this episode. I'm going to need your feedback. And as ever, it's going to be vital in what decisions we make in the transfer window. Let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Join me tomorrow to find out exactly what we do in the transfer window. And for the time being, come and follow me on Twitch. Link in the description down below. Subscribe to the second channel. You can see more FIFA content over there as well with the My Player and Football Manager and F1 stuff too. For today, though, that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.